valuable things, that you take them with you and or you know where they are. The next request that I have is important as well. As the pairings are being read, I totally understand why, once that happens, you want to leave to go get ready for your debates. And it can be really easy to either be excited or distressed and talk about what's happening in the debate that you're going to. But I'm going to ask you to keep your conversation to a minimum until you actually leave the big room. Because it's really tough if you're one of the folks who's sitting at the back of the room trying to listen to the pairings, listening for your round, and there are all kinds of people walking past you talking really loudly. And you may or may not know, but I'm about 75% deaf in one of my ears, which means I'm oftentimes reading your lips. That should probably make you really nervous. But that also means that I'm pretty sensitive to that kind of noise, and I can appreciate why it would be distracting. So if you just be kind to the other folks who are competing and keep it quiet on your way out of the room, I would be really appreciative. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. for breakfast. And with that, I will pass the microphone over for the announcement of round 6 pairings.
Two quick announcements from the tab room. The first is a reminder that all judges are committed through the octafinals. Related to that, if you were leaving before that or really at any time after the octafinals, please let us know when. The people you can speak to are Kate Palchevsky and Adrian, she's still upstairs, Adrian Barbero. Some of you have confused them already. They are quite effective at what they do. So, round the 6th. In EPB 10, on the affirmative, Dartmouth College KM. The negative, Kansas State RP. Panel of Feldman, Banky, Post. Room 10, Dartmouth KM, K-State RP, Feldman, Banky, Post. Room 12, on the affirmative, Gonzaga NS. The negative is Concordia SS. Panel of Jamie Cheek, Messina, Munoz. Room 12, Gonzaga NS, Concordia SS, Cheek, Messina, Munoz. Room 14, on the affirmative, Kansas State SK. The negative will be Vanderbilt BM. Panel of Guevara, Ryan Cheek, Dominique Baker. 14, K-State SK, Vandy BM, Guevara, Cheek, Baker. EPB 2, on the affirmative, City University of New York AM. The negative is Georgetown KK. Panel of Mundy, Moore, Lundeen. Room 2, CUNY AM, Georgetown KK, Mundy, Moore, Lundeen. Room 202, on the affirmative, Baylor EZ. The negative is Kentucky GV. Panel of DeLong, Hearn, Fisher. 202, Baylor EZ, Kentucky GV, DeLong, Hearn, Fisher. EPB 203, on the affirmative, Michigan State CZ. The negative is California Berkeley MS. Panel of Button, Justice, Lucas Bolin. 203, Michigan State CZ, Cal Berkeley MS, Button, Justice, Lucas Bolin. EPB 204, on the affirmative, Emory KL. The negative is Northwestern MV. Panel of Neighbors, Pipkin, Markov. 204, Emory KL, Northwestern MV, Neighbors, Pipkin, Markov. Room 205, on the affirmative, Kentucky GN. The negative is Iowa SH. Panel of Peyton, Lee, Gremzinski, Kram-Helwick. 205, Kentucky GN, Iowa SH, Lee, Gremzinski, Helwick. Room 206, on the affirmative, Oklahoma CY. The negative is James Madison ML. Panel of Reed Brinkley, Fitzgerald, Hegwood. 206, OUCY, JMU ML, Reed Brinkley, Fitzgerald, Hegwood. EPB 207, on the affirmative, Trinity SR. The negative is Iowa KL. Panel of Wheel, Brennan, Sean Kennedy. 207, Trinity SR, Iowa KL, Wheel, Brennan, Kennedy. 208, on the affirmative, Wake Forest DL. The negative is Emory KS. Panel of Tendet, JV Reed, Croson. 208, Wake DL, Emory KS, Tendet, Reed, Croson. 209, on the affirmative, Harvard DH. The negative, Texas SK. Panel of Steiner, Cram, Min. 209, Harvard DH, Texas SK, Steiner, Cram, Min. Room 211, on the affirmative, United States Military Academy, BC. The negative is Georgia, BF. Panel of Joe Bellin, Davis, Brandon Evans. 211, Army, BC, Georgia, BF, Bellin, Davis, Evans. Room 212, on the affirmative, Weber State, HT. The negative is Baylor, BB. Panel of Wheats, Dunn, Stout. 212, Weber, HT, Baylor, BB, Wheats, Dunn, Stout. Room 213, on the affirmative, Binghamton, HS. The negative is West Georgia, GR. Panel of Pasquinelli, Short, Justin Green. 213, Binghamton, HS, West Georgia, GR, Pasquinelli, Short, Green. Room 214, on the affirmative, Michigan, KM. The negative is Wake Forest, MS. Panel of Coach, James Stevenson, McCleary. 214, Michigan, KM, Wake, MS, Coach, Stevenson, McCleary. 215, on the affirmative, the University of Central Oklahoma, HS. The negative will be Kentucky, HR. Panel of Mathis, Chris Stone, Bacon. 215, UCO, HS, Kentucky, HR, Mathis, Stone, Bacon. Room 216, on the affirmative, Minnesota, WW. The negative is Stanford, GL. Panel of Emily Bosch, Schultz, Rashad Evans. 216, Minnesota, WW, Stanford, GL, Bosch, Schultz, Rashad Evans. Room 218, on the affirmative, George Mason, KL. The negative is Arizona State, CR. Panel of Patrice, Osborne, Smelko. 218, GMU, KL, Arizona State, CR, Patrice, Osborne, Smelko. Room 3, on the affirmative, Kansas, KC. The negative is Liberty, CS. Panel of Carlson, Perkins, Struth. Room 3, KU, KC, Liberty, CS, Carlson, Perkins, Struth. EPB 4, on the affirmative, Southern California, BL. The negative is Georgetown, EK. Panel of Bhattacharya, Moss, Skulo. Room 4, USC, BL, Georgetown, EK, Bhattacharya. They've practiced with me for the last 3 hours, and now it's getting worse. Bhattacharya, Moss, Skulo. Room 5, George Mason, DK, is affirmative. The negative is New York University, IZ. Panel of Aswari, Souders, Michael Leap. Room 5, GMU, DK, NYU, IZ, Aswari, Souders, Leap. Room 6, Harvard, NS, will be affirmative. The negative is Gonzaga, SW. Panel of Jonathan Paul, Andrea Reed, Gigolo. 6, Harvard, NS, Gonzaga, SW, Paul, Reed, Gigolo. Room 8, on the affirmative, Cal State Fullerton, DG. The negative is UT Dallas, OL. Panel of Will Baker, Smith, Nager. Room 8, Cal State Fullerton, DG, UT Dallas, OL, Baker, Smith, Nager. Room 9, on the affirmative, James Madison, BW. The negative is Kansas City, Kansas Community College, GJ. Panel of Monty, McVeigh, Glass. Room 9, JMU, BW, KC, KCC, GJ. Monty, McVeigh, Glass. Hoover 255, on the affirmative, Puget Sound, BQ. The negative is Cal Berkeley, WS. Panel of Fafelsky, Kahn, Ontiveros Kirsch. 255, UPS, BQ, Cal WS, Fafelsky, Kahn, Ontiveros Kirsch. In the Indiana room, 346, on the affirmative, Kansas HR. The negative is Rutgers, Newark, SH. Panel of Thatch, Yost, Lanning. Indiana room, Kansas HR, Rutgers, SH. Thatch, Yost, Lanning. Kirkwood room, 257. On the affirmative, Nevada, Las Vegas, GV. The negative is Georgia State, SN. Panel of Kirk, Daniel Taylor, Seabreeze. Kirkwood room, Nevada, Las Vegas, GV, Georgia State, SN. Kirk, Daniel Taylor, Seabreeze. In the Michigan room, on 351, on the affirmative, Northwest, Michigan Room 351. On the affirmative, Northwestern OW. The negative is Kansas FG. Panel of Garrett, Andres Gannon, Wunderlich. 351, the Michigan Room, Northwestern OW, Kansas FG, Garrett, Gannon, Wunderlich. Michigan State 349. On the affirmative, Michigan AP. The negative is Michigan State ST. Panel of Botto, Shanker, Thompson. Michigan State 349. Michigan AP is affirmative. Michigan State ST is negative. Botto, Shanker, Thompson. In the Miller Room 259. On the affirmative, Wayne State SN. The negative is Kansas City, Kansas Community College CN. Panel of Vitola Haddad, Tooze, Manuel. Miller 259, Wayne SN, KC, KCC, CN, Vitola Haddad, Tooze, Manuel. Minnesota 347, on the affirmative, Wyoming MM. The negative is Weber State HV. Panel of Shook, Garcia Lugo, Holgan. Minnesota 347, Wyoming MM, Weber HV, Shook, Garcia Lugo, Holgan. In the Nebraska Room, on the affirmative, Harvard BS. The negative is Southern Cal NO. Panel of Kozlo, Thiele, Zagorn. Nebraska 335, Harvard BS, USC NO, Kozlo, Thiele, Zagorn. In the Northwestern Room 345, on the affirmative, Vermont BL. The negative is Michigan DM. Panel of Simons, Turner, Sherry Hall. Northwestern 345, Vermont BL, Michigan DM, Simons, Turner, Sherry Hall. In the Ohio State Room 343, on the affirmative, Liberty CE. The negative is Emory BD. Panel of Young, Patrick Kennedy, Harper. Ohio State Room 343, Liberty CE, Emory BD, Young, Patrick Kennedy, Harper. In the Penn State Room 337, on the affirmative, Binghamton CS. The negative is Towson TW. Panel of Keenan, George Lee, Kozak. Penn State 337, Binghamton CS, Towson TW, Keenan, Lee, Kozak. Purdue 341, on the affirmative, Oklahoma AC. The negative is Georgetown LM. Panel of Foley, Ron Stevenson, Harris. 341, OUAC, Georgetown LM, Foley, Stevenson, Harris. River Room 103A, on the affirmative, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, BS. The negative is Wichita State MO. Panel of Copenhagen, Wash, Kevin Bell. 103A, the River Room, UNLV, BS, Wichita MO. Copenhagen, Wash, Bell. And in the last debate in Wisconsin 339, Georgia GH is affirmative, Minnesota CE is negative. Michelski, Campbell, Susko. Wisconsin 339, Georgia GH, Minnesota CE, Michelski, Campbell, Susko. This debate will start at 6.
Hope